Well, it is September the 16th, 2016, and it is 2:09 a.m., and I have just finished listening to Ghost's brand new Popestar EP that has released today. And also, as a special bonus, I'm going to go see them for the second time tonight in Rochester. It'll be Kyrie's first.
Yay.
Anyways, so what Ghost has given us, a little more than a year after Meliora, is a collection of 5 songs that prove why they're some of the best. See, with Ghost, you never really know what you're going to get. You never know if it's going to be something, these days at least, if it's going to be something like the straight occult kind of thing, a throwback to the classic rock, or weird synthy stuff. You never know, because Ghost has a diverse palette. They've evolved from Opus Eponymous to Infeste Sumam to, of course, Meliora, where they really broke out and attracted everyone's attention and even won a Grammy for Cerise. So Ghost has proven that you never can really know what to expect from them, except you know it's going to be weird, and it's going to be full of Satan. And, well, that's exactly what we get with Popestar. Now, it's interesting because Ghost likes to save, like, the more serious and grandiose stuff for the full-length LPs. And the EPs, which sometimes, less people check out for obvious reasons, I don't think that is a good decision, though. They should really be listening to everything. The EPs are usually something a little different. Like, If You Have Ghost EP was a covers album, and the covers were all fantastic. They covered Here Comes the Sun, they covered If You Have Ghosts, which of course is one of, like, their most important songs. And on this album, we see Ghost trying their palette at some different styles. Because as we know, Ghost, it's the very creepy synths, good concise energy within a song, and of course a chorus that everyone can get behind. And there's always plenty of Satan, plenty of action, plenty of prog. And now, of course, the focus of prog is experimentation, different sounds, different ways of executing those sounds, and they have gone and done that with Popestar. Now, the first track on this EP is Square Hammer. We talked about this the other day. Square Hammer is, as a Nameless will put it, a straight hit to the jugular, and that's exactly what it is. It is a couple minutes of pure Ghost goodness. This is something that if you like Ghost, you will love immediately. It has a great chorus, great lyrics, Satan, occult, the whole bit. Great synth, good guitar solo in there. It is quintessentially Ghost, and it's a nice dosage of it for those of us who have been wanting new material ever since Deus in Absentia ended Meliora. And it's a great way to start this album, and the music video's out right now, by the way. It's a nice sequel to Pinnacle to the Pit. And Square Hammer is exactly what it needs to be. It gets the album started with a great energy and lets you know, hey, Ghost is still doing stuff. They're still working on stuff. I know they're working on an LP, of course, but this is kind of like, hey, here's a little taste. But we've talked about that already. Now we're going to talk about the second track and everything forthcoming from that. Nocturnal Me. Now, I don't know what people were expecting from this EP, if they were expecting, Meliora B-sides or something like that, or whatnot, but Ghost is, of course, going to subvert your expectations. Nocturnal Me and the next few tracks are slower songs. Nocturnal Me is a very slow, very gothic feeling track. Of course, Ghost is a very gothic band in general, but Nocturnal Me feels like more of a focus on the gothic and the occult, but not in the way that Opus Eponymous did it. That was very Blue Oyster Cult. It was very ritualistic, the chants, the creepy synths. This almost reminded me a little bit of Mastodon or the new Opeth, like Sorceress, this slower, doomier, sludgier, stonerish kind of sound. Now, granted, Ghost is not turning into fucking some slow doom band or anything. No, it's just the bits in this, it's a slower paced song, it's a slow burn that has very otherworldly lyrics, implications of rituals and the dark and the night, and it works well. When I was listening, I was having images of, say, the Cathedral of the Deep from Dark Souls 3 being conjured up for me, and the deacons and their ritual over Aldrich. These were things I was thinking of, because many of the lyrics of the song felt like an incantation, a request to be filled with unholy presence and power. But again, it's in a completely different way than Opus did it. It's a similar theme, but again, it is Ghost evolving their sound. They are never content to sit still. And this is a more dark, gloomy, but yet pleasurable approach. As such, there's no, like, pop chorus to get behind. There's no, like, super catchy bit to it. There's a chorus that almost feels a little more spoken wordy. It's not spoken, but it's not sung with this grandiose verbosity that Ghost normally presents their choruses with. Instead, this sort of happens, and it does what it does. And it almost fits the feeling of somber rites, of a somber ritual, something a little more serious. And it works. And ironically, after that, I believe, is actually a very upbeat track. Ghost, once again, is, I assume, by the name of Popestar, obviously take on Popestar. They're playing with more poppy concepts and having fun with that and seeing what they can do with the Ghost sound with some more, like, pop-style concepts, almost like, not that they're selling out to it, but rather, like, I don't know, trying to prove a point, perhaps, by showing that they can endure with their sound under any circumstances. Just sort of having fun, kind of like a power metal band making a doom album, I don't know, something ridiculous. But, like, they're showing how creative they can be and how flexible they can be. And that shows impressively here, because I believe is actually a very upbeat track, which is strange for Ghost, because Ghost, while not necessarily a depressing band, deals with more dark, creepy, certainly evil concepts, eldritch horror, the whole bit. And I believe has a great theatric opening. Of course, theatrics are paramount for Ghost. And using sound effects and samples to build up this almost, it feels like Papa is giving us a sermon on a mountain cliffside by the ocean, stating, almost, I believe, feels more like a manifesto of Ghost. Almost feelsy in a way. There's emotion put into the song. And Ghost was never a band I necessarily gained, like, emotion from. I certainly heard passion in their music, but really, they never had any songs of dealing with emotion to a degree. This almost does. It almost feels like Papa went and made this track to try and explain why he does Ghost, why he's doing what he's doing, and also half to us and half to, of course, the good old Lord Satan. But it's delivered in such a way with certain repetitions and certain tendencies that, but yet it's still slow. There is an emphasis on a interplay between slow and fast on this EP. This is another slow track right after Nocturnal Me, and it effectively sort of communicates, it just continues on this bridge before the next track of perhaps more emotion, Papa saying things more directly. It's kind of interesting. It almost felt like he was discussing with us why he does what he does, what he believes, and how he believes it, and why. And it was interesting. I quite enjoyed it. It felt personal. Now, the next track after that, Missionary Man, was, in my opinion, aside from Square Hammer, my favorite track on the EP. Missionary Man is super fun. It's very classic rocky, and it has some some, like, folk elements to it. Now, Ghost has, of course, dabbled with this in terms of, like, He Is. Of course, He Is a fantastic song from Meliora because it sounds like some evangelical Christian acoustic song with lyrics all about He is, He's the shining and the light, blah, 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 blah. And of course, it's all about Satan, so the beautiful inversion there. Missionary Man, of course, is folky in a different way where it almost feels... I love comparing some of the vocals and styles on He Is to Johnny Cash just a little bit. And Missionary Man kind of reminds me of something he would do if it wasn't more country-like. And this is the kind of song that, like, it's got the folky feeling to it, it's got the classic rock feeling to it, but it's got the chorus you're looking for in a Ghost song. It's not a ballad, that's the next track, but it tells a story, it lays out a setting, and it, of course, puts on the Ghost coding to it. And the fantastic line of "Don't you mess with a missionary man" it builds so well. There's this beautiful section in the middle of the track where there's this often interplay between the missionary man chorus line, "Don't mess with the missionary man," and this fantastic guitar solo that's just shredding, going all over the place, but yeah, at the same time doesn't feel like some. It's got a purpose, but yeah, it just feels like it's got a mind of its own, just captivating over the song and taking us all sorts of places with it. It's quite a bit of fun to listen to, and it's got a lot of oomph and a lot of force to it, and it just kind of feels like a song you could, just like He Is was, it sounds like a song you could hear from like some Christian band, but this almost sounds like, unlike He Is would have been like worshiping evangelically, this is kind of like a warning song, kind of like don't fuck with me kind of thing, but yet it's still delivered in such an upbeat way. It's really odd to hear Ghost delivering something like that, but yet they do it so well. We end the EP with track 5, Bible. And this one took me by surprise. This is Ghost doing a ballad track. And that's definitely something interesting. If, of course, you're familiar with Ghost, that's definitely something that should draw your attention. Bible is a combination of stories, the concept of Adam and Eve, and the great flood of the earth in the time of Noah. And, of course, Ghost, with their lyrical prowess and power, do a fantastic job of working this to their ability. It's told in a series of days about how man and woman were created, discovered fire, expanded the walls of their kingdom, and then God was like, fuck you, fuck this, you're getting better than me, drowns the earth in a flood and destroys everything. And, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. But the chorus, of course, is saying, fear, love, respect the Bible. That's kind of what it's saying. And again, it's the beautiful subversion. I can't remember the exact lyrics, but it's all about the Bible, worship it. It's this beautiful subversion of the Christian lyrics that you would normally hear, but yet that they are having a go, basically, kind of just like fuck you kind of thing, where they're taking what would normally be one thing, but because we know Ghost is all about evil and the occult and Satan, they're twisting it to their own means, their own purposes, and yet still making it upbeat. There's nothing on here like Mummy Dust. Missionary Man is probably the closest it gets that, because it's a heavy, moving track that just I want to mosh to, I want to move to, I want to bang my head to. Mainly because of that fantastic middle section there that really just has that kick. But Bible somehow manages to have the story of the destruction and flooding of all life on the earth. Oh dear, it's gotten dark. My monitor is turned off. The destruction of all life on the earth, and manages to make it fun. Now, who the fuck does that but Ghost? Now, in the negative points of the album, yes, there's really only one or two tracks to really truly get behind, that being Square Hammer and Missionary Man. Nocturnal Me, I Believe, and Bible are very entertaining. They're very good. And perhaps they'll grow on me more as I listen to them, but I think those are better seen as experiments, as fun, and as just a little bit of playing around that Ghost did to see how they can affix their sound in different places. And it works out really well. Like I said, it's got this classic rock feel to it. And though I don't love all of these tracks, you need to understand this is an EP, and Ghost loves to have their EP be their fun little field trips to do as they please. And in that way, it works fantastically. Their usage of pop tendencies, their usage of classic rock tendencies, their usage of normal religious music tendencies comes off really well as they dilute and damage it to their own purpose, but yet somehow make it come off so upbeat and so pleasurable and so happy. There's not this dark feeling about it by and large, except for Square Hammer being sort of that continuation of the sound we heard on Meliora, and Nocturnal Me being this very dark gothic sound. The rest of the tracks are strangely upbeat and have a great movement to them. And I think it's definitely worth listening to. The only thing is, if you're looking to show a friend Ghost, I would not show them this album. I think this is a very good album, but I think this, much like the EPs that they put out, this is for the fans. This is for people who already know and love Ghost and want to hear Ghost try their sound out elsewhere. This is not the quintessential Ghost sound. This is not something that will give you this perfect idea of what they sound like and what they're going for. This is them branching out, trying, experimenting, having fun. And while I do think that's fantastic, because I think Ghost can do no wrong, I don't think this EP is for everybody. And that's fine. Ghost doesn't have to be for everybody. Music doesn't have to be for everybody. I think, though, that this is a nice bit to tide us over until the new album comes out, whenever that may be. And hey, no fucking rush. They can take as much time as they want with that, because I love Ghost and I love good Ghost. I don't want them to rush that shit. I think overall this album is definitely worth listening to, and if you're curious about checking out Ghost, this probably is not the album for you to check out. If you're looking to do that, check out their last LP, that being Meliora, because that's fantastic. This is something, if you're already familiar with and you want more, you're going to get more. You're going to get a little bit of fun here. But if you're just looking and you're kind of casual fan, Square Hammer and Missionary Man are the two major takeaway tracks. And also, they're about to embark on their Popestar tour, that's North America, and if you're on the fence, or not sure, or maybe interested, let me just tell you right now, go see them. I've seen them once on the Black to the Future tour, and I'm going to see them again with this tour. It's probably going to be largely the same. They might play one or two songs from the EP, but it's going to be completely like the same. You got to go see them. They are utterly fantastic. Their live performance is second to none, super good, super fun, and one of the best live shows I've ever seen. But other than that, that's Popestar. I give it a recommended, but with those caveats, of course, because I think it's great, but there's a few things about it that but overall, it's a worthy addition to the Ghost discography. I'm Kenshin, I'm peacing the fuck out. See you guys later.